The club's next big Brazilian hope has finally been announced. My friends, I want to share my thoughts, opinions on what we should expect from Estevao Willian's season at Chelsea. How is he going to perform? Where is he going to play? What's he going to do? What can he deliver at this young age? Is the Premier League going to be too tough for him? I want to have these conversations right now. So I hope you guys enjoy the video today. For sure, share your thoughts and opinions on this. I want to get as deep an understanding behind how you guys are honestly feeling on this arrival at our football club. Hope you guys enjoy, and let's break down what to expect from Estevao Willian. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm being cynical, but I don't know. Maybe it's because it's my social media feed. I'm not as active on it as I used to be, and with these algorithms moving mad these days, who even understands if we all have the same feeds? You know what I mean? But I feel like I haven't necessarily seen like a massive like level of hype or excitement in Estevao. Again, it could just be my personal feed. I can accept that. I think a lot of people maybe have expectations that he's someone that has to be carefully managed because of his youth, the fact he's come from a weaker league, that we have other, good players in the squad already. And I think sometimes to some people, when certain players possibly have this like massive hype and expectations around them, and you've not really seen it, you can't believe it if you've not seen it, right? And it's like, who is this kid? Why are people gassing it? Why are we doing the most when there's other players who deserve to get this level of praise and hype? And Estevao's not going to have it easy when he comes here. I can respect that type of perspective, right? But I think equally, we have to kind of understand the level of talent we've signed. To be a teenager and to get double digits for goals and assists, no player in the Brazilian league in their history got to double digits for goals and assists like Estevao did at 17 years old. Physically, he's been playing since he was 16. 83 appearances. He's playing nearly week in and week out, right? He's ready. And as we saw from the Club World Cup, the Brazilian league is no joke. It's physical, it's aggressive. Yeah, he's getting double marked, he's getting triple marked at times. He's not had it easy. And with how well Brazilian clubs represented themselves in the Club World Cup, I think a lot of us kind of understood, oh wow, this league has quality to it. And the fact that this kid is getting these types of numbers, putting in these types of performances already, maybe he's more ready than we originally gave thoughts and expectations to. But I do think there's a lot of interesting things to come from Estevao to move this conversation forward. How he plays, what positions he fits in. Personally, I think you're going to see an Estevao Willian that plays across the attack, sometimes on the left side, sometimes on the right, and sometimes as a 10. And I think with how I've been constantly communicating how I'm envisioning our football for next season, I think we're going to see rotations. We're going to see players interchanging positions. This is what Maresca's next grand plan is at our football club. And I think after seeing how this brilliant egalitarian type of football at PSG this last 12 months, where everyone can kind of share the roles and get a piece of the pie, it does show you that with good structures and managements, this can work. So I'm maybe you guys might think I'm mad. I think Estevao's going to be a first team player. I think when guys like Cole Palmer are dropping things in English to him after the game versus Palmeiras, suggesting, yo man, I'm excited to play with you, I'm looking forward to playing with you. These guys at the club already know the talent he has and what he's about and what he's going to bring right now. I don't think it's his hype. I don't think you're going to see Estevao struggling off the bench for the first 2-3 months at our football club before he's given opportunities to get in the first team. He's not going to have to start from the bench and stuff like that. You're going to notice it during pre-season when he plays against Leverkusen or Inter Milan. I'm really excited to see those performances and see what he brings right. But yeah, Estevao Willian is someone that we should be excited for because we've not really ever had this type of teen talent, like the storyline Brazilian wonder kids who, come straight to us, who we've beaten at all this ridiculous competition to, who can kickstart his career here. It'll be really interesting to see what happens. I think, listen, it's quite nice to see that the Premier League now is getting a bit younger. You're seeing more team players introduced into the first team on a more regular basis. So it's not like it was maybe a few years back where maybe you'd have to have a few concerns about the intensity or maybe the physicality or the ruthlessness at times. I think a lot of times now the younger players are even better adapted now than they've ever been to be ready for this challenge. With big clubs buying younger and younger, you know, we've invested in Estevao because we don't think Estevao is going to be 25 or 26 before he's world class. We think by the time he's like 21 years old, 22, he'll be there. And if we're going to take inspiration from Vinicius Jr., for example, Vinny was very lucky that Eden Hazard sadly broke down the injuries at the worst time, but it was the right time for Vinny. But he still needed at least 3 seasons before he got to double digits for goals playing for Real Madrid. And in his 4th season, that's when he absolutely exploded. So I want to use Vinny as the reference point in terms of a player that became world class at the age he was supposed to be. He came for a ridiculous amount of money. He had some fortune in his way because Eden Hazard's absence, of course, gave him even more minutes than he was even expecting. But I think with Estevao, we can kind of curate his minutes even more when we need to. When he needs to get some pauses, but he has to get freshened up. If maybe there's a game or two where he was a little bit weak, you know, and he's on the bench and he's reshifting his mentality to get ready to get back in that team and be hungry again, you know. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm feeling optimistic that the environment actually is really catered towards getting the best out of him and allowing him to hone and refine his skills and his craft. So, you know, it's going to be a big responsibility, not just for Estevao, but also in terms of Maresca. Maresca, of course, has a duty as well to get the best out of this kid. You guys might think I'm talking a bit mad, but again, maybe I'm seeing it in the wrong perspective. But my perspective is this is a Ballon d'Or level talent, not just a good player or a wonder kid. He's a Ballon d'Or potential talent. I think everything about his game, how he plays, how he shifts his body, how he dribbles, how he carries, but the mentality, for God's sake, you know, there's not many kids who are like, from a young age, like, listen, I want to be the best player in the world. A lot say that, but you need to have that purity in your ambition, right? I remember when Cristiano Ronaldo had that same type of purity of ambition. Look what he's achieved in his career since, and he's still going on, right? All the players that want to be the best, how they play, how they train, how they live their lives, their professionalism, their relationships, everything aligns in a way which can put them on a path to achieve that grand goal. And I think Estevao has a lot of these ticks, man. He's got many ticks going off for him in the right ways, which gives me a lot of hope. But to end with things quickly, you know, I do want to say this. I think there's also a duty for us fans as well to be patient, have perspective. I'm not expecting Estevao to come in and slap flipping 15 goals, 15 assists first season. No, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of his goals do come in the cup games to start with. I believe his impact will get even stronger in the second half of the season once he's really adjusted and acclimatized, got used to the system, his teammates, and feels more comfortable in the country, especially when things like his ability to speak English grow and improve over these next few months. You got to look at these guys as a human being, a bit like a plant that you're trying to grow, and you see it with the nutrients, the right light, you know, the right amount of water, all that type of stuff, right? If you want to see it blossom, so we need to have that. So I feel like there are going to be times naturally, because every wonder kid in the making, they have trials and tribulations, right? Us fans can't be cynical. You see it all the time, and especially socials. A lot of these youngers are ruthless. They're reckless with their mouths. You know, Estevao's going to come here and he's going to feel the pressure like he's never felt in his life. Now, that pressure was there in Brazil. Let's not get things twisted. But now the platform's even brighter, and the expectations will be more unrealistic. And there are going to be people just waiting for him to kind of fail already. You're kind of seeing how man are forcing this Engahoma, Estevao Willian comparison up for no reason. But that's the nature of the sport. That's the nature of the beast. That's the nature of social media. But I'd be disappointed if this fan base or people in it, you know, take that negativity and angst and use it against their own player. I won't be having that at all. Yeah, I think his first year is going to be a great education for him, which he's going to need, but he's going to dazzle. I think that's what you're going to expect from him. Dazzling moments, excitement, fearlessness. That's not always going to be executed in like perfection, but once that first season's locked down, I think he'll get respectable numbers. You know, I think 10 goals and assists minimum is what I'm expecting from Estevao. Bare minimum. That could be 5 goals, 5 assists. Bare minimum, I think he will get more than that. But not only is he going to need support from his manager and his teammates and his family, but also from us fans as well, right? Because, listen, man, one day we're all going to be old, right? And I don't know why I'm getting so sentimental. Maybe because my uncle's leaving, you know, he's gone back home. But it's like, we're all going to be old, right? And it's just like, these are the memories that we should be cherishing. You know what I mean? Like the emergence of a potential new global superstar. You know, just watching his rise at our football club, something us fans have never really seen before. These are going to be like future long-term memories we're going to have. And, you know, we should be like ready for that. We should have that type of perspective too. And we should be excited for the arrival of Estevao Willian, because if we're keeping things real, this is the biggest coup on the Clear Lake. This is why we spent 18 months trying to bag this deal, tie it down, pay whatever money we had to pay to get it done. Whatever club we become on the Clear Lake, it does feel like Estevao will be the key player that can help us rise to the ambitions that this ownership have placed in us, this model, this strategy, the recruitment and everything. And there you have it, my friends. That is the end of this video today. I'm sharing my thoughts on Estevao. I don't really care about trying to be right for engagement. I never really care about that or focus on that. I'm just here to share my honest thoughts and opinions on how I'm feeling around this kid. I have a really good, positive, strong feeling around him. I'm very excited for this move, what this move can mean for the football club now, in the medium term and in the long term. I'm excited to see how Maresca is going to introduce him. I think he'll play games down the right hand side. We can't forget the fact that Madueke essentially was phased out so Estevao can take his spot. I think you can't see it any other way. Gittins replaced Sancho, and Garnacho is going to replace Mudryk, and Xavi Simons is going to replace Nkunku. That is how we are upgrading and improving our attack. So when you're allowing someone like Noni to go to a rival, you have big expectations on the player you have that's replacing him, right? And I really feel like the club have stupid hopes for this kid. He'll play quite a lot. He's going to be electrifying. He's going to excite us a lot. And he's going to make an impact for us for sure. I'm really, really excited for this move, my friends. Hopefully Maresca, of course, does his little bit as well, just to try and ensure that we're getting the maximum output from these guys. I really want to see the interchanging play. And just to give you guys a little insight, you know, don't think Estevao Willian was only playing on the right-hand side under Abel Ferreira at Palmeiras. Do not think that. Don't fool yourself into thinking that. He played on the right. That's how he started and played a lot of games. But he also played as a 10 for a lot of games. And he played on the left-hand side for a lot of games too, and even had like a rare stint as a wing back too. So this is someone that is literally being built up from the ground to be ready for this move, to be a complementary figure in the system that Maresca is building and producing too. So I'm sorry, like I can't help but feel excited for what we've done and this player we've brought in. So share your thoughts and opinions on Estevao Willian. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow with the reaction to Estevao, which I've been waiting to drop. You'll see that tomorrow. Love, my guys. Cool.